And welcome back to week 2 of the Boulevard. We are here tonight breaking down the Big 12, the wild, wild west of college football this year. Who knows what's going to happen? It's wide open. Um, I was thinking about it earlier, and I about bet money every single one of us have a different champion in this conference this year. What do y'all think?
I mean, I would assume so. I would say, as I was breaking this conference down, like this is probably the conference that I'm looking forward to watching the most. Is that weird? Is that funny to say? I mean, there's so many teams here that have like legitimate chance of winning. There's not one team that's far and away the best. There's really not one team that's far and away the worst. So we
Yeah,
just saw the team that was projected to finish last year in Arizona State win the whole conference, make the CFP, and I mean, a few. If Quinn Ewers doesn't convert a fourth and whatever, we're talking about ASU potentially in the quarterfinals of the CFP. So yeah, I'm excited to break this conference down and see this thing play out.
yeah, it's gonna be a pretty wild conference, and for those of you, real quick before we start diving into these teams, we got a lot of teams to cover tonight. So we're gonna dive right into it. But if you're new here, welcome. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them as soon as we see them or after we break a team down. And yeah, we're just gonna give you some bets and some previews of these teams. Um, but starting right off the bat here, let's throw some odds up on the board. Up at the top here, we got. I mean, look how close these odds are too, right here. I mean, you've got 6 teams under 10 to 1 to win this thing. K
I
State,
don't think I've ever seen that before.
yeah. I mean, that's absolutely wild. Um, but yeah, I mean, Kansas State plus 550, Arizona State plus 550, Utah Tech right there at plus 600, Baylor, TCU. I mean, it's just going to be wide open this year in the Big 12, and who knows what's going to happen. But let's start right off the top here. K State. We're going to throw this one over to you, Jose. Plus 550, tied to be the favorite to win this conference. You can go ahead and start breaking them down.
I mean, it feels like every year Kansas State's like one of the favorites to win this conference, right? Like at least the last few years, they've always been near the top. And I just want to give credit where credit's due to this program because it's come a long way. I mean, we weren't alive for it really, but the pre-Bill Snyder days, this program really was a corpse. They really didn't have that much of a pulse. They were all perennially in the bottom of whatever conference they were in. It's a pretty hard place to win at, and we expect so much from them every year. So it just goes to show how much this conference is elevated. I'm sorry, this team has been elevated throughout the years. As far as this team, though, I'm going to go under, guys. Look, I just don't have the faith in Avery Johnson that I think I need to have in him. As a runner, absolutely fantastic, right? We like his legs a lot. Real X factor for this team. He complements who I assume will be the starting running back, Dylan Edwards. He came over from Colorado a few years ago. I'm sure everybody remembers his performance against TCU that first game, the Dion era where they upset the national runner-ups, the Horned Frogs. So they should have a good backfield, right, as far as running the ball. But you have to be able to throw the ball to win championships, right? Consistency is key. And that's the biggest downfall for Avery Johnson, right? His arm. Do any of us here really trust him? Has anybody here shown us enough? Has anybody here believe he's shown us enough to make us think that this guy can win this conference? And the answer, at least in my opinion, is no. His style of play, right? He's going to utilize his legs so much more than his arm. If anything, it increases the injury risk tremendously. And that's obviously bad for Kansas State. I don't want to bet money on a quarterback who may not be there at the end of the season. I know a lot of people in the offseason have been talking about how much of a stride he's made, Avery Johnson, with his arm, but I heard that last year, guys. And if you think about it, it's pretty rare to see a quarterback take significant growth at this point in their careers, right? You normally see it from like freshman to sophomore. You typically see a player come in and just already be great. If you look at, quarterbacks in this conference, right? Someone like Jalen Daniels, someone like Rocco Beck, someone like Cam Rising, even last year, like these guys all got worse as their careers go on. It's pretty rare in this conference to find someone actually get better as their careers progress. You look around the country, right? Some other quarterbacks who were at once, labeled as 5-star, top 50 recruits in the country. Someone like Cade Klubnik, someone like Drew Aller. Like, they're good. Avery Johnson is good, but have these quarterbacks ever really improved? Right? They're all going to be juniors and seniors now. Have you seen these guys really grow up? Have you seen these guys really progress in their careers? The answer is no, not really. They've gotten better, but minimally. I think it's just too much to expect Avery Johnson to put it all together in this offseason. He's a good quarterback, but the grass is not always green on the other side. Maybe they should have stayed on to Will Howard another year, given Avery Johnson another year to develop under him. I just don't trust them. So I'm going to go under. The defense, for what it's worth, should be fine. K-State always has a pretty good defense. Name to watch, though, Lincoln Cure, a 5-star tight end, a true 5-star tight end, true freshman coming in this year from the portal. I'm sorry, from the recruiting ranks from high school. Very rare K-State gets a 5-star kind of guy to go to Manhattan. So credit to him, credit to their staff, and we'll see how his career pans out. But I'm going to go under with K-State. There's not enough meat on the bone at plus 550 for me to win the conference for me to jump in.
Okay. So now, I agree. I think it's wide for a conference like this that's wide open. I just really don't want to put any of my money on one of these upper tier teams with such lower odds. I think this is the conference to take a longer shot, in my opinion. So, yeah, I do agree with you here. But let's move over to the Sun Devils, the team that really shocked everyone. I was so down on this team. Tyler shit on this team. We were all down on this team last year. Didn't know what they were going to do. And here it is. Sam Leavitt may be the best quarterback in this conference. I know he was up towards the top, and I'll pull the odds up here while Tyler's breaking them down. I'll pull his odds up to win the Heisman. But, yeah, let's jump over here to Arizona State and see what they have to offer. While I pull Sam Leavitt's Heisman nod. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was first in line to absolutely dog shit on this team. So, first and foremost, let me apologize for that. Second of all, I'm about to do it again because I'm taking the under. I ain't going back for seconds on this. Here's why. I'm gonna explain. If I was given this scenario for really just about any other team in this conference, I would hammer the over. They're returning 4 or 5 up front on offense. They get Sam Leavitt back. They get Jordan Tyson back. I think Kenny Dillingham's a great coach. So I was like, okay, yeah, their offense is going to be fire. Now, they do have to replace some pieces on defense, but they hit the portal all right, and they address some issues. Now, Cam Scatterboo, yes. At first, I thought, well, it's just a running back. You know, they got Kanye Udo coming in from Army. So I was like, they'll still be okay. But then I realized he had 350 touches last year. That is about impossible to replicate. I mean, that's about touching the ball every time they take a snap on offense and that production. Also, they were 6-1 in 1-score games last year. That is also just about impossible to replicate. They had everything break their way. And I'm not talking about on Arizona State. I'm not. But they just had everything go their way other than the playoff game against Texas. You can't do that on a year-to-year basis and it pan out well for you. So I'm going to go slightly under. I do think they're still going to be a very good football team. So if anybody in here is a Arizona State fan, don't take it personally. I have nothing against Arizona State. I'm just saying that is very, 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 very hard to replicate. And also I feel like when it comes to the Big 12, because every team is so wide open, that if you go chalk, you're going to lose almost every time.
Yeah.
And they are towards the top. So I'm sorry, Arizona State. I'm taking your under again. To be honest with you, I hope you prove me wrong and you go over because I don't know what I'll do. But back-to-back, I'm going to go under the 8.5.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think it's a miracle season for them last year, and I don't see how they're going to replicate it, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm on the under as well. Jose, you got anything?
I mean, look, if there's one thing I hate in gambling, it's paying a premium based on the team's success from the previous.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, guys, I'm actually gonna go over 8.5 with this squad.
Wow.
I like Kenny Dillingham a lot. I think he deserves a monumental amount of credit for what he did. For a team that was projected to be last in the Big 12 and ended up making the CFP. And we talked about how they almost knocked off Texas. I mean, if there was ever a time that you should be willing to pay a premium, on a team from last year, I think it's this one. Because like Tyler said, they bring back a lot of guys, dude. And I know they lost Scatterboo. And that's going to be impossible to replace, like T said. But if you think about it, if you ask any coach or ask any of us, like if there's one position that you have to replace year by year, if you could pick and choose any guy on your roster, I want to replace this guy every year. I think we'd all say running back, correct? Like that is in theory the easiest position to replace. Now, Scatterboo, again, irreplaceable. You can't get a guy like that. He was a player that comes along once every 20 years for a program like ASU. So I'm not saying, any player that comes in is going to put up numbers anywhere close to Scatterboo, but I respect Kenny Dillingham as a coach. I think he's going to realize that he can no longer be a power running team. He's going to spend this offseason realizing I have one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. I'm not even a Sam Levitt guy, to be honest with you. I think he's overrated. But still, like, he has one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. He has some of the best receivers in the conference. You think about Jordan Tyson. You think about Monique McClain, who I like a lot. They bring in a guy from Alabama. I forget his name. I should have had it written down. I'm sorry. But he was a 4-star transfer, a big play kind of guy. Like, I think the receiver room is pretty –
Jaron Hamilton?
Yes, Jaron Hamilton. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Tyler. Yeah. He's a big play kind of guy. A lot of potential there. Defensively, this defense was really, really good last year, guys. Better than I thought. As I was digging into the numbers, like, they were actually pretty damn good. And they bring in players in the D line that should cause havoc. Secondary should still be all right. I think their biggest pickup, honestly, their biggest addition was picking up a kicker from Eastern Michigan. If you guys don't remember last year, they were running tryouts. Like, like, this was in the middle of the season while they were competing for a Big 12 championship. Kenny Dillingham was having tryouts for students to try and join the football team. That's how bad it got, their kicking situation. So picking up a proven kicker from the MAC, very big for this team. I don't love the over here, but I'm going to go ahead and I'll pay that premium and take it. I just think there's a lot of talent on this offense. And I think Dillingham, for as long as he stays at ASU, is going to be a fantastic coach. And if you're an ASU fan in this chat or watching this thing down the line, just enjoy him while you have him, because I don't think he's going to be there long.
I was just about to ask how long do you think he has? I would say if he replicates what he did, he'll be gone after this year.
Well, the reason why, another part where I'm buying into this team is because really I'm buying into the program. Like, they've allocated a lot of money NIL wise, to this team. So the more money they're willing to spend, the more likely it is for him to stay. But at the end of the day, you just can't compete with the big boys. So I would say another year max if he replicates last season.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I agree too about that, the running back comment. A lot of teams nowadays, that they're by committee more than anything. They don't even have that one guy. They're running 2-3 guys out there. We see that a lot more in college football and NFL nowadays. But we're going to move over here to the Utes. Cam Rising finally retires, leaves his team. The Utes of Utah. Jose, what you got for us on Utes?
Hey, on that comment, I mean, I maybe he did officially retire, but he had one more year left if he wanted to use it, which is wild. But he did have one more year, so it was there. The option to come back was there, I guess. But no, I'm gonna go the over 7.5. I'm gonna take the plus 600 to win the conference. This will be my official pick to win the Big 12. I think I took them last year, and that blew up in my face. But you have to remember, they were down to their 4th-string quarterback at times. I think their quarterback wasn't even a quarterback at one point. He was like some receiver playing quarterback. It got pretty bad down there. But the trenches this year is where they're best at in the Big 12, primarily on the offensive side of the ball. They bring back a lot of returning linemen, a lot of talent, a lot of experience. On the offensive side of the ball right there. So that is where they separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Defensively should be stout. Morgan Scalley, one of the best defensive coordinators in the country, as reliable as they come. He'll probably be the head coach in the next 4 years or so. Whenever Whittingham decides to step down, I think it's already been announced that he's the head coach in waiting. And he is a genius on that side of the ball. Lander Barton comes back on the defense. Major bonus for that. He's a really good player. Their entire linebacking corps has potential to be, I think, the best in the Big 12. But yeah, for a Kyle Whittingham team, it just feels weird to discuss, because I wanted to dive into the offense real quick. It feels weird to discuss how much potential this offense has. And it starts with one guy, Devin Dampierre. And for good reason. Anybody who watched this guy last year in New Mexico, you should have been what he was doing, because not only was he putting up great numbers in his conference, but you also have to remember, New Mexico does not have any talent whatsoever. So for a guy to go out there and put up the numbers he was putting up and the highlight reels he was putting out there, really electric. I really was really impressed with him throughout the course of last season. I know some guys out there who bet him to win the Heisman 150-1. I think that number's down to like 40-1 now. I'm not advocating for him whatsoever, but 150-1 for Devin Dampierre, if you got out early, I think is a solid bet. This guy has loads of potential. The receiving corps is not that bad. What I like the most is they actually brought over Jason Beck, his offensive coordinator from New Mexico. He's now the OC here in Utah, which I think should help him out tremendously, get some familiarity there as well. People like to point out Dampierre's turnover ratio, but again, like I said, there was no talent there at New Mexico whatsoever. The guy is a one-man show. So if he has to put the ball in harm's way in New Mexico to risk a big play, that's something you just have to live with. Again, he's not a very big name, So if you haven't seen him already, go watch some highlights of him. If his game translates, which is a big if, but if his game translates to the Power 4 level, then Utah is a serious threat to win this conference, and they have a chance to make some noise in the CFP as well. Also want to point out all their big games are at home this year. Kansas State is at home, which is a potential Big 12 championship game, or at least a chance to get in, a berth potential into the Big 12 championship game. All their big games are at home. I mean, I think we've all agreed last year this is probably a top 3 place to play in the country in terms of power ratings. Just going to Salt Lake City and playing against Utah in elevation like that, especially at night, that's as hard as it gets. So to have that kind of a home field advantage in your back pocket for an over 7.5 bet, I'll take it. So this will be my official pick to win the conference. I did it last year and it burned me. But I think Kyle Whittingham's one of the most underrated coaches in the country. So yeah, 7.5 over plus 600 to win the conference.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest places to go to. If he can come over from New Mexico and just do half what he did with that offensive line, I think they're going to succeed. Tyler, you got anything you want to add real quick?
No, I love the bet. I also love them as well. Whittingham severely underrated. Great coach. You hit on the home field advantage. I mean, I feel like you have to take a stab at that number.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to money bags. Texas Tech spending all that money this offseason trying to get them a team. Big T, we'll let you dive into Texas Tech here.
All right, let me pull up there.
I think I was supposed to go Texas Tech, John, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, you're all good. No, you guys talked about it. They're pouring money, but it's not just into football; it's into other sports too, like basketball. John, you and I watch a ton of basketball. They're really, really committed to college basketball as well. Even softball. I mean, I actually watched some of this women's softball this year. I think they paid $1 million, which was like some record-breaking deal for like the top transfer in the country. And I watched her play, and she was actually really fucking good. So this is not just a football program on the rise. I mean, they are a school on the rise. They are looking to be a national powerhouse in multiple sports, which obviously is good for football because that's the moneymaker. Yeah, it feels like a make or break year for Joey McGuire. Like, I don't think his seat is like scorching or it's even really all that hot, but it's a little warm. I think it's fair to say he's kind of underperformed his time at Texas Tech, but he's won enough games to keep him off the hot seat, at least for now. But the pressure's on, expectations rising. When you start pouring money like this into the program, they're going to expect results. And just given the landscape of college football, results should be coming quicker than normal. So your leash is not going to be that long. But yeah, they hit the portal hard, guys. They brought in a ton of talent, a lot of raw talent, some high-end talent. But that talent, that high-end talent is relative to the portal itself. And if you don't even know what I mean, let me explain. The portal class this year, at least it's a common consensus of what I've been reading and just the players that are in it, the portal class this year is not as strong as it has been in previous years. So Texas Tech did a good job bringing in the talent that was available to them in the portal. But overall, that portal talent was not what it was. So just keep that in mind. If you really want to bet on Texas Tech this season, just understand the players they're bringing in perhaps wouldn't be as good, or the money they're paying for these players, they could have gotten better deals in previous seasons just based on the talent that was there. It seems like more and more teams are starting to understand, starting to figure out how to keep their players because you're seeing less talent hit the portal. So just going forward, know that if your team is actually able to bring in someone, there's probably a good chance he'll be there for multiple years. I just wanted to point that out because, again, it seems like the consensus that the portal is the quality of the portal is deteriorating. But look, they hit the portal hard. They revamped their offensive line. They revamped their the wide receiver room. They bring in this offensive lineman. I like him a lot. Hunter Zambrano from Illinois State. He's on some draft boards. Reggie Vigil from Miami of Ohio. I thought he flashed in the MAC. I'm not sure if you guys remember him, but he was a big-time player at Miami of Ohio. I saw him play a few times. I thought that was a good get. Defensively, though, they got to get better. But they brought in guys that I think can be dogs, right? Romello Height from Georgia Tech. I think we can all agree this guy is a dog. David Bailey from Stanford, I think he's a dog. They're both 4 stars. They were both 4 stars in the high school ranks and the portal ranks. So just consistent talent down the board from that perspective. Their starting linebackers return. I think they have a chance to really improve. So overall, the way they construct their roster, I think is a damn good job of it. They did a damn good job of it. But at the end of the day, just like most teams in the country, it comes down to whether or not their quarterback can play well and can stay healthy. Baron Morton, I think, has a chance to be one of the better quarterbacks in this conference. When he's healthy, it's a different Texas Tech team. So, yeah, I mean, the potential is there for this squad. Their future, might be the brightest in the conference. If you're talking just purely on potential and the way the roster is broken down, Texas Tech is probably at the top, to be honest with you guys. So I'm just going to buy. I'll take the over 8.5. I want to buy into this program. I don't feel strong about it because it really just comes down to whether or not their quarterback can stay healthy. I know you can say that for a lot of teams, but with Texas Tech in particular, it really comes down to whether or not Baron Morton's on the field, and he just hasn't proven to do that consistently enough for me to actually take the conference future. But the over 8.5, I'll go ahead and buy in on that. So yeah, I'm over on the Red Raiders.
Yeah. If this team can mesh, I lean over as well. And we got a question from Seta here. My question for you is something I asked John on the phone earlier. If Texas Tech went out and spent $28 million, what are some of these blue bloods spending on rosters this year? Is it possible there's $30, $40 million rosters out there?
I would assume Tech is near the top. I don't have like actual numbers in front of me, but like if you're a program on the rise, or you're trying to be a program on the rise, right? For a player, let's say there's a 5-star recruit, a kid out of, let's just say, Florida, right? For you to convince that kid to come to Texas Tech, it may cost you $4 million. Whereas, Florida State, it may cost them $2.5 or $3 million. If you want to, if you're not a bona fide you're not a bona fide top tier blue blood program, you're going to have to pay more to acquire the same talent as the other schools would. So I would assume Texas Tech is near the top, and that's not to discredit these schools and what their NIL is. But if you want talent and you're not, one of the blue bloods, you're going to have to pay more to acquire less, if that makes sense. So no, I don't think there's any schools paying more. I would assume Tech is got to be in the top 10. But that's just a guess.
Yeah, they're definitely up there. So now we're going to move over to the Baylor Bears, where I will take this one at plus 700. They return a lot of offense. We got quarterback Sawyer Robertson coming back, threw for 3,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, only 8 picks, ranked 14th in passing efficiency nationally. Battled some ankle issues, but if he is fully healthy, I do believe that this team has a real shot at making a run in this conference. Bryson Washington rushed for over 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, named freshman All-American, and they also have Dawson Pendergrass to relieve him, to kind of give a burden of the workload off of him. And also, offensive line returns for 5 starters, boasting top 5 national red zone efficiency. Pass game, Josh Cameron, senior wide receiver and top punt returner. Kobe Prentice comes in from Alabama. Kobe Wilson comes in from Texas State. Both add speed and depth. Offensively, Baylor ranked 20th nationally in total offense, 440 yards per game, and returned 9 of those 11 starters. So, they can really lean on that offense this year to get it done. But one thing they did focus on was defensive overhaul. They have Keaton Thomas in the middle, first team All Big 12 linebacker. They bring in talent from the portal in Calvin Simpson Hunt from Ohio State, Devin Turner from Northwestern, and Samu, I ain't going to try to say his last name, from Texas A&M. Linebackers, Amarion Winston from Oregon, Travion Barnes from FIU, Phoenix Jackson from Fresno State. And then they made some coaching adjustments. They brought in, hired Paul Gonzalez from TCU as the passing game coordinator and cornerbacks coach. And it was kind of a reality check last year. Baylor allowed 234 passing yards per game. That was the bottom half of the Big 12. But, if these defensive pieces can kind of mesh, I think that they have a real chance to do something special, especially with the offense that they have. And they have some depth at offense this year at quarterback. They have Walker White, the Auburn transfer, and freshman Edward Griffin to give a little security behind Sawyer Robinson. So, yeah, I really like this Baylor team. I don't think they are the same team. They do return a lot of starters, but they also are kind of reinventing themselves. The offense is potent. Defense, they went portal hunting to fix what was broken. They got a little bit of a revamped staff. And, I really like this team to kind of break through. they're kind of on the verge of, being right there. And we saw that towards the end of the year. So, yeah, I like this team a lot. I do think they'll be in that Big 12 title game. I don't know if I'm trying to pick between them and another team to be my champ. But, yeah, I like Baylor a lot this year in this conference. Anybody got anything they want to add?
I'll speak for a little bit. I'm all in on Baylor too. I have Baylor as number 2 in this conference.
Yeah.
I think Sawyer Robertson is what Avery Johnson wants to be, right? Like I've seen the strides he's made from year 1 to year 2 last year. I thought he looked fantastic. It's crazy to think because Dave Aranda is such a stout defensive mind, but this defense sucked last year bad. So I like John touched on. I like the hires he made. I think he recognized the defense was weak. He went out to address it. The schedule's actually not that bad. I mean, their toughest game, I guess, is on the road at TCU. Other than that, I mean, they project to play all the bottom teams from the conference on the road. So, I mean, they definitely can make this conference championship game. I think they do. I have them number 2 in my rankings. But, yeah, I'm really excited about this team. I think that week 1 game against Auburn not only should be a fantastic game, but we should learn a lot about both those squads because I'm actually high on Auburn as well. So that's a really, really big measuring stick game to see who's better and who's worse. But yeah, I'll take the over 7.5, and I have Baylor as number 2 in this conference. So yeah, they should be in this conference championship game also.
Yeah. Good. That makes me feel good about backing Baylor here. And we're going to go over to the Horned Frogs at TCU, a team that Tyler told me he really liked this year. So we're going to let him kind of break down why he likes this team.
Yeah, so I do like this team, and I'm really struggling with taking the over on this team, but I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. They return 4 on offense, but 3 of the 4 they return is up front. So not too worried about that. They've got some continuity up front. Josh Hoover comes back, which I'm going to be honest, I kind of shit on TCU last year too. I need to apologize to y'all as well. I'm a Josh Hoover guy. I'm a Josh Hoover fan. He can sling the ball. They can throw these shit out of the football. Their struggles last year had nothing to do with offense. It was everything on defense. Now, granted, they took a big step up in defense last year from the year before, and I expect them to make another jump again this year. They brought in a couple pieces from the transfer portal. They brought in Jordan Dwyer from Idaho. He was a 1,200-yard receiver with 12 touchdowns a year ago. They brought in Joseph Manjack from Houston. I think he only played in 6 or 7 games last year and got hurt. But if he was your USC Trojan, what is it? Was he not, Jose?
I liked him. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Big frame was like 6'3", 6'4", 200 pounds. Big frame, big guy.
Big boy. Big boy.
Yeah. So, and they brought in Pimpton from LSU tight end spot. So they brought in some pieces on the offensive side of the ball. I really like their DBs. I think they have really good DBs. I think Bud Clark is a phenomenal safety, and they bring in Kylan Jackson from LSU to kind of play in the free safety spot with Bud. So I think safety-wise they're going to be real good. I do have some questions with their front on defense, but offensively I think they're going to be really good again. I think if they can take just a slight step forward on defense, they'll be okay. Here's why I'm struggling to take the over on this team. Their schedule is fucking brutal. I'm just going to be honest. It is brutal. They're non-con. They go to North Carolina week 1. Which I don't know what North Carolina is going to be like. They're going to win that game.
Yeah.
But who knows what North Carolina could be? But I suggest they win. I bet they win that game. Then they get Abilene Christian week 2, which they should win that game. But I will throw the little nugget out of Abilene Christian went for 2 to win the game against against Texas Tech last year and didn't get it. They were 2-point conversion away from beating Texas Tech a year ago. And then they get SMU, and then they got to go to Arizona State. They get Colorado, which I expect they'll win that game, but they got to go to Kansas State after that. Then they get Baylor, which is going to be a fire game. Then they got to go to West Virginia. I would rather have West Virginia earlier in the year because you're going to give Rich Rod some time to get that offense really rolling, which we'll get to here in a little bit. They get Iowa State. They got to go to BYU. No, I know they have a quarterback, situation going on, but BYU is not an easy place to play. They go to Houston, which – we're going to also break down that team later, but I'm in on Willie Fritz, and I think they're going to surprise some people. And then they get Cincinnati to end the year. It's really hard for me to want to bet that this team wins 7 games with the schedule because there's a lot of good freaking teams on the schedule, and I don't know that they can win that many 50-50 games because a lot of these games are going to be 50-50 games. I love their roster. I don't like their schedule, and I think it's going to be difficult. If I had to pick one way or the other, I would slightly lean over, but not enough to bet on it.
Interesting. And as we see right there, TCU is 3-point favorites against North Carolina in week 1 over under at 59.5. We're going to move on now to the team that I was on last year and a team that about did it for me, Iowa State Cyclones. Big T, go ahead and start breaking them down.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Their line sitting at 7.5. I like the over again, to be 100% honest with you. They're returning 9 total players on offense. They return everybody up front. They get Rocco Beck back. I know they lost 2 huge pieces at wide receiver to the NFL. Both to Houston, the Texans, actually. Both of them got drafted by Houston. So I do realize that is a big loss. But, I mean, the thing with Matt Campbell is I don't feel like he's a real big portal team. I feel like he's a big developing team. I feel like he gets his guys in there and he develops. I'm not saying he doesn't hit the portal, but he doesn't go crazy on the portal like I feel like a lot of other coaches do. And we said this on the show last year. I mean, Matt Campbell is an unbelievable coach. Top tier coach, elite coach.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And if you're going to give me, the opportunity to back him, I'm going to do it. I just have a hard time not doing it. They return 6 on defense, and they go get some pieces in the portal. They go get Chase Out from ECU, who we bet on quite a few times last year. Got burned, but on some of them. But they weren't bad on offense, and they went and got Xavier Townsend from Central Florida, who I personally am a fan of as well. He's not a big flashy name, but he's a very solid player, and I think he's going to do fine in that offense. So I do believe that this can easily be an 8-win team. I don't mind the 1,100 to go back and win the Big 12, to be honest with you. I'm going to back this team, especially with that return in offense production. I'm going to back Matt Campbell every time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think the line's right. We'll just kind of have to see what happens with this team this year. Jose, you got anything you want to add to Iowa State?
Yeah, but real quick, I hate to do this, but I want to go back to TCU just for a split second. I want to say I agree with Tyler. Like, Josh Hoover is the best quarterback in this conference, and it's not even, I don't think it's that close. I love his game so much. I don't know what his Heisman numbers are, but let's just say TCU goes on a magical run. It's going to be because of him, and he'll put up the numbers to be in the Heisman conversation. TCU was a team we faded a lot last year. I have a feeling we're going to back them a lot. I like this roster a lot.
Yes.
And I like their safeties a lot. I think Bud Clark's going to be all Big 12. That'll be a team I see myself betting quite a bit because they have the best quarterback in this conference. On to Iowa State, though. Yeah, Tyler hit it pretty well. I'm actually going to go under, though. But it was a very slight under, the slightest of slightest unders. That's only because it's really hard to replace 2,000-yard receivers in one offseason. I don't even think, Bama or Georgia can do that. Like, no team can do that. So especially at a place like Iowa State, that's going to be extremely hard to do. Rocco Beck, I liked his game when he was younger. As he's gotten older, I think as he's progressed in his career, I feel like he's deteriorated, and now you're taking away 2 NFL guys. So I'm not really sure what to expect out of him. But you hit the nail on the head with Matt Campbell, though. I mean, he's a fantastic coach. I think we talked about going into last season how he was potentially on the hot seat. If I'm not mistaken, he was on the hot seat, or at least his name was coming up on potential seat warming articles or whatever. Yeah. We talked about how ridiculous and asinine that was. That man is one of the best coaches in the country, one of the most underrated coaches in the country. Again, people have to put things into perspective. Like, to win at Iowa State, that is one of the hardest Power 4 jobs to win at. I mean, it's pretty damn hard to convince a kid to go play at Ames. Yeah. No disrespect to Ames, Iowa, but that's just not traditionally a very easy place to recruit at, to win at. So what he's done there is nothing short of amazing. Their defense last year, it was probably the weaker part of the team, but I expect them to take a step up. I know we talk about our guys, everyone, we all have guys. I know once we talk about Kansas, we'll talk about one of our guys. But John Heacock, the defensive coordinator at Iowa State, he's one of my guys. I think he's one of the most underrated D coordinators in the country. I think he could be a head coach one day. I love the way he runs his defense. Fantastic defensive coordinator. And I think this defense can take a step forward. I'm always going to back Matt Campbell. When you pair him with John Heacock, again, that's one of my all-time guys right there. I have no problem doing that. Again, it was the slightest of slight unders, mainly just because they lost so many skill position players, those 2 guys to the NFL. But if they went over, I would not be surprised. I would not be shocked. If this team won their conference, I would not be shocked at all. In fact, if of the double-digit, conference are the teams to win this conference, double-digit odds, Iowa State probably is the best one. So again, slight under, but I do respect Campbell and Heacock, and if they won 8-9 games, I would not be shocked.
And we see Josh Hoover down here at literally the last guy on the Heisman odds list at 300 to 1.
Look, people may call us crazy, but I mean, we gave out, what was it we gave out last year? I'm sorry, Ashton Genty, and
Yeah.
he didn't win it, but we had said, okay, like the scenario was there, like this for Josh Hoover to win the Heisman. TCU just has to make the CFP. If he makes the CFP, if he wins the Big 12, and we talked about how wide open it is, like if TCU has a good season, which we think they can, it's going to be because of Josh Hoover, and he's going to sling that shit around. So I don't think it's a bad bet, honestly. I'm just saying, just putting it out there. We'll come back in a few months.
Yeah. All right. And now we are going to kind of see some separation here at plus 18,000 with the Kansas Jayhawks. And I'm going to talk about this team. And I wanted to – I don't even know if this is going to pull up. I don't know if this is going to pull up or not, but we'll see.
I'm so sad to talk about this team. This will be the last time we talk about him.
I know.
About him. This will be the last time you guys hear us break this guy down.
I want to share something with you guys. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but that's okay.
Damn. Now it's going to have us tearing up. No sound. Damn. This is not right. I mean, this is heartbreaking, right, Tyler?
Yeah, it's gonna be one last send off for.
This is one of those notifiers that you're getting old in real time.
Yeah,
like
we're gonna have to give him a farewell tour at the end of the year.
Oh, the swan song. There's no way John can go under with this, bro. There's no way. If John goes under, dude, I'm quitting this podcast, bro. There's no way you can go under with this one, bro. No way.
Oh, listen here.
Oh my goodness.
Listen here. There's only one team that's going to run the Big 12, and it's the Kansas Jayhawks.
That's right.
Let's fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go.
No way, dude. No way. Is this your official pick?
Right.
Are you serious?
This is my champion right here.
Oh,
We're back. The Jayhawks are back. They're about to run the Big 12. I kind of tried to downplay it, but I've got Baylor playing Kansas in the Big 12 championship game, and Kansas is going to win. And the reason why is because of Jalen Daniels, baby. He's back for his sixth year. He's healthy. Hey, listen, we saw some sparks from this team at the end of last year. I think that they have a very manageable schedule here. Fresno State at home, Wagner. They got to go to Missouri, which is a non-con game. Then they play West Virginia at home, Cincinnati at home. They go to UCF, who we see as one of the bottom teams. They get Texas Tech at home, Kansas State at home, Oklahoma State at home. Then they go to Arizona, and probably their toughest game of the year will be at Iowa State. They get Utah at home. Listen, Jalen Daniels, he remains the heartbeat, the soul of this team. He's back, he's healthy, and he's going to lead this team to the Big 12 championship. And listen, another bold take here. He's not going to win the Heisman, but he will be one of the finalists.
My
God.
Y'all think I'm joking. He will be sitting in one of the chairs down there. We're going to see Jalen Daniels from a few years ago. And the reason why is they don't have to rely on a bunch of star players and feeding them the ball. They have a running back duo that has a lot of upside, and Heshaw and Williams. They'll work together, and they can maintain a serviceable ground attack, even with Devin Neal gone. The defense has redefined itself. They have rebuilt the secondary, regardless of losing Kobe and Melo Dotson. They have a steady pass rush, linebacker play. They have culture continuity. Lance Leopold program stays intact. The identity remains smart, physical, and they're not going to be reliant on one or two stars. Listen, the market is down on this team. What is so funny to you? The market is down on this team because Neil, Bryant, Melo, they're all gone. But it don't matter. They still got Jalen Daniels. He's going to lead them back. They don't have to rely on all these star players. It's a balanced team with a leader who is healthy, and he has a manageable schedule. Jayhawks, book him. Rock chalk.
Man, hell
Lance
no.
Leopold too. I still got Lance Leopold.
Yeah.
Lance Leopold. He's one of our guys too. Tyler,
Book
do you want
it,
to go
baby.
first? Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
But
No,
the basketball school, no, they're a football school. They're a football
Like to be
school.
fair, I think they're breaking a new stadium this year, right? Like this should be
Yes.
their first year of the new. Because last year they were playing at Arrowhead, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, John said that Jalen Daniels was the heart and soul of this team. He's also the arm, the foot, the head. He's everything to this team. He's whatever body part you want to point. There's nothing else here besides Jalen Daniels. And look, I know you're gonna hear. I keep saying this, but you want to talk about our guys, Tyler. I'm gonna ask you because you're non-biased, okay? You've seen him you've seen Jalen Daniels with him and without him for 1 year. Is it more Andy Kotelnicki or was it more Jalen Daniels? Because Andy Kotelnicki is one of our guys, right? What was it more? Because we saw Jalen Daniels play with Kotelnicki, we saw him play without Kotelnicki. Which one did he look better in? Was it more Kotelnicki or was it Jalen Daniels and he just got hurt and took a step back last year?
Hey, listen, they had to get the new system going. They've got a year under the belt now. They started to figure it out at the end of the year last year.
Yeah, you're right. I actually have that in my notes. Like this team was red hot down the stretch. We were backing them every week, and they were making us a ton of money, right? Like this team was firing on all cylinders. But you have to remember, like they had legitimate wide receivers, right? They had Arnold? One of the guys' last name was Arnold, and there was somebody else too. I forget. But they had some studs in the receiving room. They had Devin Neal, and I don't care how you try to spin it, John. He's probably one of the best players to ever walk through that program. Just given the history of Kansas, so there's no way you can convince me that they're better without Devin Neal. He was fantastic. Look, I love Jalen Daniels. I hope to God he performs well, but history is not on his side right now because the last time John went out on a limb and named someone the Heisman this early in the season, his name was Nico Iamaleava. Look what happened to him, dude. He's not even at that school no more. They ran his ass out of town, and he had to go to his fifth option in UCLA for less money. That was like the all-time jinx flick right there, dude. I've never seen anything like that. Jalen Daniels is not going to win the Heisman. Kansas is not going to win 8 games. I
didn't say he's going to win the Heisman. I said he'd be sitting in one of those seats.
Okay, well, whatever. If he's at one of those seats, we'll think of something for the next episode that I'll do. I'm willing to make that bet because there's no way Jalen Daniels without Andy Kotelnicki. With the talent he has around him, I mean, last year he had a lot of turnovers, guys. I can't remember what the number was, but his quarterback vision seemed to drop dramatically, right? That wasn't the Jalen Daniels we normally saw, and that was with all the talent around him. I can't imagine he's going to play better with less talent. I do have it in my notes right there here. The defense has got better, and the secondary should get better. Linebacker room should be better. But no, fuck no. I'm not betting them to win the conference. No way. No, not even close, dude. There's no way. Not this team. I love this team. I love Jalen Daniels. Don't get it wrong. I love Jalen Daniels just as much as the next guy. But no, I don't see it. T?
Big T, you agree with me?
Not only no, but hell no. Like, look, I love Jalen Daniels. I do, and I love betting on this team. I'm keeping it buck.
Yeah, I love betting on Kansas, dude. But they're the team you have to bet on in spurts. They have to bet on them in certain weeks.
Yes, but when they're on, they're on. Like hammer them. I understand that. I'm a big Lance Leipold fan. What he's brought to this program in the short amount of time he's been there, nobody has been able to do. And you talk about earlier, like with Iowa State, like who the fuck wants to go to Kansas and play college football? You know what I mean? Like what he's done there. I mean, hats off to him.
Yeah.
But hell no. No. The time to buy them was a few years ago. It's past that now.
When they're 6-0,
I hope we're wrong, Tyler. I hope we're wrong.
When they're 6-0, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna revisit this.
Please do. I hope, dude. I love this team. I love Jalen Daniels.
Yeah,
I love
100%.
Lance
I hope
Leipold.
they
I
prove us
love
wrong.
them, dude. But I have to provide America with some
They're gonna be
unbiased.
6-0, ranked in the top 25, playing
Oh.
Texas Tech.
Oh God, dude. Just
All
something's
right.
gonna happen to this program, bro.
Hell no.
All right, we're moving over to the Cougs, BYU, another miracle team from last year, in my opinion. And I'm going to cover them real quick here. A lot of turmoil. Jake Retzloff leaves for breaking school conduct, whatever. He had 3,000 passing yards, 20 touchdown. He withdrew over an honor code violation, and he is now transferred. Where did he transfer to? It was this week. Where was it? Tulane, yeah. He's over at Tulane now. And that leaves a wide open quarterback competition between Stanford transfer Bear Bachmeier, McKay Hillstead from Utah State. Neither have really any starting experience or proven chemistry at all. This kind of transition at quarterback rarely will yield effective continuity or explosiveness in the offense. It's going to put this team at immediate risk on the offensive side of the ball. They lost key playmakers like Keelan Marion, tight end, and depth, and they really honestly have like no tested skill makers in their starting roles. The defense is inconsistent. Last year's defense, they ranked 108th in sacks per game. They really didn't generate a lot of pressure, and they didn't really do anything to answer that. Secondary depth is thin. Lost veteran corners Marquis Collins and Jacob Robinson. So yeah, I'm down on this team. They have a brutal schedule, 6 road games. 6 of they have tough opponents: Iowa State, Texas Tech, and TCU. With this kind of turmoil, transition at quarterback and a tough schedule, I just don't really see BYU recreating what they did last year. Last year was the time to bet this team. They peaked in 2024, but now they're going to face a true test this year. I don't think the defense is going to hold up. The offense is going to lack any explosiveness at all. The culture may be strong in the program, but the team will not be strong this year. So yeah, I'm pretty down on BYU.
I would have been more inclined to bet the under if Retzloff was still there, because that's how much I think he sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he would have stayed, then I would have been like, oh yeah, for sure.
And for what it's worth, I was down on this team even with him there. I don't think this team is going to repeat what they did last year.
No, and so I have it written down in my notes. It says we as a podcast did not hold him in high regards at all. Like, we were fading BYU towards the end of last season. Now, I'll be honest, they burned us sometimes, but by the last few games of the season, they ran out of steam. I know we kind of talked about how Arizona State was a luck box last year, but at least they had talent. Like, at least Sam Levitt was there, Cam Scadaboo was there, Jordan Tyson. Like, who on BYU was good? Like, who can you say, oh yeah, BYU had this guy? Like, this was the luck box of all luck boxes. They were not this good. They had nobody that I could really think of and say, oh, this guy was a game breaker. I know Keelan Marion went to Miami, but even then, I don't really think he's all that good. Like LJ Martin, the running back, he's good, but I wouldn't say he's like Cam Scadaboo level or anywhere near that. Like, this was the luck box of all luck boxes, and that's why we faded him. Yeah, under 6.5 for me, pretty easy. No way this team repeats what they did last year. I do want to give credit, though, to Jay Hill, defensive coordinator. I thought he did a fantastic job last year with that defense. Exploded onto the scene because I had no idea who he was before last season started. So I think that defense should be all right, but offense, way too many question marks. And again, they got way too lucky last year. I think it'll even out by the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Tyler, you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to old Deion here, still at Colorado. Both his sons are gone to the NFL. They brought in a lot of good transfers. Caden Salter from Liberty, kid I'm familiar with. The 5-star quarterback prospect. Oh my God, what is his name? It's
Lewis.
Yes, yeah. Tyler, we're going to let you break down Colorado here. Coach Deion.
I've been pretty high on this team the past 2 years, betting on them in a lot of games, and this year's the year I hop off the wagon with Colorado. I don't think that they're necessarily going to be a bad team because the thing with Dion is he does have some really good freshmen in there, and they did hit the transfer portal really hard. And athlete wise, they're going to be able to match up with a lot of people, but it's the same thing with Colorado that it has been the past couple of years as the trenches. I don't like them. Not only did they get that 5-star offensive tackle a couple of years ago, played last year as a freshman, so he's got some games under his belt, but I still have some question marks about Caden Salter too, to be 100% honest with you. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I thought we had a big drop off from his season, in 2023 compared to last year. Now, I did read an article that part of that may have been he was trying to get out after the 2023 season. It was something with his credits not being able to transfer, Liberty holding him there academic wise. So I don't know if that was part of it. To where he just didn't give a shit, didn't want to be there. The situation, locker room, whatever the case may be, not be good. But I thought he kind of took a step backwards. Now, I'm not saying that he can't get back to what he was a couple of years ago because I thought he was a great player for Liberty, and I think he has all the potential to. But that's just a question mark that I have with this team. That and their schedule is pretty brutal.
Yep.
I'm probably going to be betting Georgia Tech week 1 when they go to Colorado to play. They have some really tough road spots in TCU. They got to go to Utah. They got to go to West Virginia. They got to go to Kansas State. They play Arizona State. They play Iowa State. I mean, all the teams that you want to avoid playing in the Big 12, they get every single one of them, split between road games and a couple at home. That's just not a team that I can bet on to win 7 games.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm down on Colorado. It was fun to watch them. I think the media will kind of step back from them as well with Deion's sons being gone. We haven't really heard as much talk about him. So, I'm with you there. Jose?
Yep, I agree 3 for 3. I just want to give a quick applause to Deion, to Shedeur, to Travis Hunter, because they came in with a lot of hype and they lived up to it, dude. That was a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
They battled in the Big 12 with the roster that really shouldn't have battled as well as they did last year, right? Like, that team was not that good to be competing for a Big 12 championship game. Travis Hunter wins the Heisman. Shedeur tears it up in the Big 12. Deion, they really went above and beyond what we thought they could do. Us as podcasters, right? Maybe your average fan thought, oh yeah, national championship, but I think you're a more serious fan thought, okay, this team maybe they'll be all right, but not anywhere close to conference championship level good, and they were. So credit to them. It was really fun watching them play. I know Deion signed an extension at Colorado. For me, that just, we all thought he was gonna leave, right? We didn't think he would be here once Shedeur left, once Hunter left, once Shiloh left, whatever. So for him to sign the extension, you could take it as one of 2 ways. Either as one is hey, I'm here for the long haul, I'm committed to this program, or number 2, he realizes damn, my time is ticking, so I might as well get all the money I can before I was living off Travis Hunter, I was living off Shedeur, and I'll just take all as big of a buyout as I can while my stock is high. So we'll see. I don't really know what the future holds for Deion, to be honest with you. I don't really think he's been around the program that much, not to his own fault. I think some medical issues came up with him. He really hasn't been coaching that much. So we'll see exactly where this program's at when they come out and play. I'm not a Caden Salter guy. I'm not even a Juju Lewis guy. So too many question marks for me. I'm going to go under. But again, respect to Deion, respect to all those players that really came in and changed this program.
Yeah, and another note on that is national championship. Let's get realistic, about that. They were a tiebreaker game away last year from playing for the Big 12 title game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they were a 1-win team, 2-win team. They were by far bottom of the barrel. Absolutely not even kind of close to being relevant in the sport of football. It didn't matter what conference you put them in. To be honest with you, put them in Group of 5, and I think that team would have struggled. I just the leaps that they took over the past couple of years was, freaking fun to watch. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. But yeah, I think that ship starts to sell. And now we're going to move over to Cincinnati and Houston. I'm going to break down both these teams fairly quickly here. These we're kind of getting into those teams now that I'm actually looking at both of these teams, betting on them on a week-to-week basis. I don't think either one of these teams are going to compete for the conference championship, but I do like both these teams. I think both of them are great teams to look at betting on a week-to-week basis. I'll start over with Cincinnati here. Brendan Sorsby, dual threat quarterback, threw for 2,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, rushed for almost 500, 9 rushing touchdowns. He showed some rookie tendencies, struggled at times, but the kid has a ton of. He's bursting with upside, in my opinion. If he can be a little more consistent, he can really kind of take the reins on this offense and win some ball games. They lost Corey Kenner to the NFL, but they got Wisconsin transfer Tawee Walker. A good running back, ran for 864 yards, 10 touchdowns. The offensive line is stable. They returned key interior linemen Gavin Gerhardt, Joe Cotton. They brought in Terry Tayo and another, I'm not going to say his last name, Nolan something. Offensive line, they should be able to keep Sorsby upright here. It's strong. It's a cohesive group. I think they'll be able to run and pass the ball, especially with Sorsby able to use his legs. They did lose their receivers from 2024, so I kind of want to see how the new receivers do coming in. Jeff Caldwell from Lindenwood, Caleb Goody from Colorado State, and Cyrus Allen over from Texas A&M. They got depth and size. I just want to kind of see how they fit into this offense with Sorsby at quarterback. They did bring in a lot on defense as well. But they ranked 105th nationally last season, so they really needed to rebuild this defense. And I think that they did that in the portal somewhat well here. Scott Satterfield, he's building a stable culture. He's got some new staff members. He continues to run that 3-3-5 defense. This isn't, like I said, this is going to be a week-to-week basis team. I think that they can kind of rebuild, put it together. And, I don't think they're going to be in that Big 12 title game, but this is a team that, with the right matchups and even at home at some points, I think they could upset a couple teams and cover some spreads for us this year. Anyone got anything they want to add real quick to them?
I think there's talent on this roster. I like Sorsby a lot. I'm a Sorsby guy. Dante Corleone came back, the Godfather, for like his 10th year. I feel like he's been there forever. But just to be short and sweet with it, I can't back Scott Satterfield. I'm not a Scott Satterfield guy. I didn't like him at Louisville. I don't like him at Cincinnati. I think he's a dead man walking, to be honest with you. If Cincinnati can win 7-8 games, then yeah, credit to him. But I've never been a Scott Satterfield guy, so I'm gonna go under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under as well. I'm curious to see if he's even coaching, by the end of the year for this team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a very good coach. I do think they have good players. But yeah, I can't back him.
Yeah, they do have some good players. Be kind of just a week-to-week basis thing for me. And I'm going to run through the Houston Cougars here real quick. Willie Fritz's team. The offense was absolutely abysmal last year, ranked 132nd in scoring, 14 points a game, 128th in total offense, 288 yards per game. But the defense is where they stood out, top 30 nationally. Their two top players did transfer out, but I think that the defense will still be good. And the big addition, Texas A&M transfer, Connor Weigman comes in, 5-star. He can really maybe start to power this offense and get them going. They do have offensive talent. They brought in new coaches. Across the board here, just some names. They brought in Stephen Johnson, Makai Muse, Harvey Broussard, tight end Tanner Kozel, running back Dean Connors, new offensive coordinator Slade Nagel. He has some familiarity and success with Fritz before. The defense interior should be, there. They brought in defensive coordinator Austin Armstrong from Florida. So I think this defense will be even more aggressive. However, their secondary is gutted. The offense could struggle at times, kind of forming some cohesion there and kind of getting everything put together. But Weigman does bring, experience and talent. And we'll just kind of have to see how this team meshes as a whole. If the defense can do what they did last year, the offense start to maybe fire off instead of being one of the worst in the country. I think that they could, win some games, and there'll be a week-to-week basis thing for me here with Houston as well.
I don't really have a play on this team either way, over 5.5 or under. But I just want to say this is a program on the rise. This is a program I want to buy into. I love their head coach, Willie Fritz. I'm a big Willie Fritz guy. They're committed to, NIL. They're bringing in a pretty damn good recruiting class next year. I believe they have like a top 5 recruit in the country, a quarterback coming in, 5-star blue chip kind of kid. So I think this is a team to be on the lookout for going forward. Maybe it's too early this season, but I think in the next year or two, Houston should match what they do in basketball and be a dominant piece in the Big 12. By the way, that tight end they got, Tanner Koziel, I don't know how you pronounce his name. He's a stud, by the way. Really
dog.
Yeah,
he's a dog. So that's a big get for them.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a strong lean either way, but I think this program is headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
T, you said something about Willie Fritz earlier. You got anything you want to add real quick?
No, I don't. I mean, I do like this team. Am I going to bet on it future-wise? No, but I would like to bet on this team week-to-week basis because I do think they're going to upset some teams. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's definitely the play of this team is to matchup-wise, scenario-wise, whatever it may be, week-to-week basis with this team. Let's move over to West Virginia. Big T, I got you covering this team for us at 40-1. What do you got to say about West Virginia?
Man, I really want to take this team because I think Rich Rod being back there is really going to help this program. I like what he's done the past couple of years at Jacksonville State. I thought he did a pretty good job there at that program. And, he had a pretty good run at West Virginia his first time around too. But, man, this roster is hurting. And, I mean, this roster is hurting bad. And that is the main reason why I don't think I can really back this team just yet. I think they'll get there this year. I just don't think I could do that because, I mean, this roster got depleted. It got picked and prodded and, I mean, shipped out to almost every team, it felt like, in the country. When I was going through their transfer portal stuff, I mean, I bet over half of their top players were gone. No, that may not be saying, a whole lot. But there was some guys that, went to big major schools all across the country. I mean, they just got wrecked in the transfer portal. Got absolutely wrecked. And that's going to be really hard, year one to make the guys that he has in their work. With his offense, I do think, towards the end of the year, they may be a team that I will look to be betting on a week-to-week basis once they get that offense in place and they kind of get in a groove of things. And Rich Rod can kind of get things started going a little bit towards the end of year one. That may be a team that I could look on to bet on a week-to-week basis. But, man, that roster's just not there for me to fully back this team.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you here. They got pretty depleted, and this is going to be a team to just kind of watch and see, in my opinion. Jose?
Yeah, I think Tyler kind of talked about it. Rich Rod, I thought he was a corpse. He did a great job at Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
That team was actually really good. I believe, did they win the conference, or at least they went the conference championship game?
Yeah.
I thought he was done for. So what he did there was amazing. I think him coming back here to West Virginia is amazing. I mean, a little quick story. Like, when I was a kid, this was the team that got me into college football, was Rich Rod's West Virginia with Pat White and Steve Slate and Tavon Austin and all these guys. Like, that was the team that turned me into a college football junkie, to a college football fanatic, whatever you want to call it. Like, this was the squad. So it's just crazy to see him back where it all started. He's had a very illustrious or a very interesting career. He's had some highs, had some lows, but he's back home, and I just think it's great for college football in total to see how they play out. But the very, very raw roster. I think if you're playing West Virginia, you want to play him early in the year, because I think later on in the year, once Rich Rod starts incorporating all of his schemes and his his coaching tactics, whatever, they should be getting better because he's still a good coach. But yeah, I guess I'll go under for the podcast, but I don't really have like a strong lean either way. Yeah. I hope they go over.
Yeah. And we're going to end it off here with Arizona and Oklahoma State. Jose, I'm going to let you end it off here with both of these teams. We don't really have anyone covering UCF. Jose, go ahead. Arizona, Oklahoma State.
Well, as you can see, I'm actually wearing gear appropriate for both teams. And you can see the hat obviously is Arizona. But I'm actually wearing an all black shirt. I'm wearing black shorts. I'm wearing black shoes, black socks, because I think this is the funeral for Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy. I think he is a dead man walking. It is not looking good in Oklahoma State from the top down. I'm going to give him his credit where credit's due. I mean, he has been a pretty consistent coach his entire career, right? He's not a bad coach. Oklahoma State traditionally is not one of the better programs in the country. Like, it takes a lot to win there. He's had this team on the brink of making the CFP. I'm sorry, no, what's the CFP? Yeah, they did have a chance of making the CFP.
Yeah, they went to the Big 12 championship game a couple years ago.
When they lost to Baylor. This team was at one point top 3 in the country or top 2 in the country, and they lost to Iowa State many years ago to blow their chance at a national championship. Like, Gundy has done a great job, okay? But as they say, all good things at some point must come to an end. And I just feel like for Mike Gundy, he's ran his course here in Stillwater. I mean, listen, their quarterback situation, we'll start there. It's dire. I guess it's going to be Haas Haney, I believe his name is, from TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he sucks. Like, the running back room, like, it sucks. Like, everything here sucks. Like, I can't point to one thing and be like, oh, yeah, this is great. Their defense, I mean, it has a chance to be okay. They returned some key guys in the secondary. Cam Smith, he's a pretty good player, probably in the NFL. But, I mean, yeah, I was looking up and down this depth chart. Like, their leading receiver, the projected number 1, he just tore his ACL, like, in the spring. So now he's gone. Like, the only glimmer of hope I'll give Oklahoma State fans here really is that Mike Gundy always performs best when the expectations are the lowest. Like, when you have when his back's against the wall, when he has absolutely nothing to play, like, that's when the team plays better for some reason. And again, he's a good coach. Like, I'm not saying it's not entirely his fault. Like, some things just have to end, and you just got to rip the Band-Aid off and move on. I do want to have like a small discussion with you guys. I mean, do you think they fire Gundy? Like, what does he have to? If he makes a bowl game, do they keep him? Or no? Like, do you think, like, just unless he pulls off like some miracle season, do you think it's time? Like, this was his last hurrah, his last season, his swan song season. And do you think it's the right decision to fire Gundy? Because I do. I just think it's time. But I'm curious to know what you guys think.
I think it'll be mutual. Like, I want to leave, and instead of it being like, I'm firing you, you know what I mean?
Does he retire or does he continue coaching?
I think he'll continue coaching. Tyler?
I don't know. He's got a lot of businesses in Stillwater. I do, because I'm in Stillwater every week and talk to people who know him and who have dealt with him before. And he does have a lot of businesses in Stillwater. Not that he has to be there for them, but he's got a lot of ties still to Stillwater for, how long he's been there. It was 20 years, ish, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they'll get rid of him. I think it's going to be we appreciate everything you've done, but, it's time to take the next step. And I do believe he's getting ready to sell his house in Stillwater too. So I don't know if that's a little foreshadowing on anything, but
there's some inside knowledge right there. We have someone on the boots on the ground in Stillwater scoping out Mike Gundy's house to see where his future lies.
Yeah.
He's gonna go coach Tulsa, and ETSU coach that went and coached in Tulsa. He's gonna go to Oklahoma State. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I'd go to a lot of games if that was the fact. I'd go watch Gundy coach at Tulsa.
It'd be entertaining at the very least.
Yeah. Jose, you got anything for Arizona?
Yeah, I do. So if I know we talked about how like this conference is wide open, and we just saw Arizona State win the conference last year, and they were the bottom team. Like, if gun to my head, if you made me pick a long shot to win the conference, I would pick Arizona. I'm gonna go over 5.5. This number actually went up from 4.5. I was doing some research, and this number opened 4.5. So there's obviously some money coming in on the over. Went up a full game. I'm just a Brent Brennan guy, like the head coach there. I know his first year went poorly, but I mean, I like to hire Brennan when they got him. I think he turned around a dreadful, like an atrocious San Jose State program. You guys don't understand how hard it is to win at San Jose State. That school dumps nothing into their athletic department. I mean, it is one of the tougher places to win at in the country, and I think he did a damn good job, given the resources he had at his disposal. I'm always gonna have a soft spot for him, just based on what he did there. Obviously, a California school, that's where I'm from. But I think he is a better coach than what they put out, than what he showed last year. But that being said, this is a new era of college football. Like, if he doesn't perform this year, there's a good chance he might be gone. You used to get, 3-4 years, the minimum. Now you're getting 2 years. You know, if it's not looking good, then you're out. But he brings back some talent. Like, Fafita comes back at quarterback. I mean, people forget, like, he's only a year removed from throwing 25 touchdowns. I think it was 5 interceptions, 72% passing percentage. Like, he was really good. Now, I know we like to attribute that to Jedd Fisch, and rightfully so. Jedd Fisch deserves his flowers, but still, Fafita has some talent. He struggled last year, first year under Brennan, obviously, transitional period. But they do bring in Seth Deggy at offensive coordinator. I like that hire. They got to replace T-Mac, McMillan. He just went top 10 in the NFL. But I do like the receivers they brought in, Chris Houston and Trey Spivey, 2 guys in the portal that I think can be decent players. Running back room is pretty solid. Offense should be good. And if you have a good offense in this league, you got a chance to win every single week, right? This is obviously an offensive-minded league. Not too many teams are boasting like superior defenses. They bring in Danny Gonzalez to be the DC, though. He runs a very aggressive scheme, which I actually like because the secondary is probably their strength, right? So you're going to run an aggressive defense. You're going to, bring the blitz. You're going to expect your corners and your safeties to hold up in man coverage, and that kind of plays into what Gonzalez wants to do. They returned 3 guys in the secondary. The trenches should be better. They actually have an NFL guy starting a defensive tackle. I can't pronounce his name, but his last name is Savea. His first name, I have no idea how to say it. But he's, on some draft boards. I don't know. If you made me pick a long shot, I wanted to get one out there. It would be Arizona, just because their quarterback, I've seen him play at a high level before. I like the offensive coordinator hire, I like the DC hire. Again, they got to replace, probably one of the better players in program history in McMillan. But I mean, again, gun to my head, I'll just take a shot with this team. 40-1. I wouldn't even bet that. That's not enough meat on the bone. But again, if you just wanted me to pick one of these, perceived worst teams to win, it would be Arizona.
I do think their schedule breaks pretty well too.
Their conference
Yeah,
wins is over 3.5 for the conference wins. At plus money, at plus money, plus 135.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can do that. Again, some team is going to surprise. I think some team is going to, shock us a little bit, just like how last year was. That's just the way this conference is built.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll take my shot with Arizona just because I like the coach a lot, and I think the quarterback, again, I've seen him play at a high level, so whatever. Yeah.
Big T, you got anything you want to add?
No, that's it for that one.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap up the Big 12 conference here. We're going to do our who's going to be in the championship game and who's going to win it. Jose, I'll let you start with you.
I got Utah over Baylor.
Utah over Baylor. Big T?
Yeah, I had Utah and Baylor as well.
Yeah, I have Baylor and Kansas, and these lights aren't flashing blue for nothing.
Goodness.
Kansas in the Big 12 conference game is crazy work.
Yeah, if Jalen Daniels is hurt, though, Baylor wins.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say. All right, well, we're going to wrap this up. Next week, it starts getting juicy. We do the Big 10. So that is going to be a fun one. A lot of elite teams over there. And if you are new to DraftKings, you can join and get a deposit bonus. And I will place a referral link in the comments here. But you can join, deposit $5 and get $150 in free bets. So there's that for DraftKings. But yeah, we appreciate y'all tuning in. It's a great episode, and I cannot wait to break down the Big 10 next week. Same day, same time. But yeah, y'all have a good night. Thanks.
Night.